You have been told that small wrists are a curse. You look down at that thin, delicate bone and immediately think, I'm a hard gainer. I'll never look truly big. Society tells us that thick wrists are the foundation of strength, that small wrists mean small arms, and small arms mean you'll never carry the look of raw power. But here's the reality. A small wrist is not a curse. It's an optical multiplier. It's one of the rare advantages most people overlook entirely. Think about a sledgehammer. The handle is thin, the head is massive. That contrast is what makes it look heavy. That contrast is what makes it look dangerous. Your arms are no different. If you have thick wrists, to even appear impressive, you need massive 20-inch arms just to look average. But with small wrists, you don't need to bulk up 5 inches. You don't need to layer on extra mass. You only need to create the right taper, the illusion of width and strength that tricks the eye into seeing power. And here's the secret. That taper lives in the forearm, not in the wrist. When someone looks at your arm, their gaze follows a natural path, shoulder to bicep, bicep to forearm, forearm to wrist. If that line is straight and unbroken, you appear fragile, even if your biceps are big. Change that final segment, the forearm taper, and suddenly your arm looks solid, heavy, almost weaponized. This is called the Popeye effect. It's not about raw size, it's about perception. Creating it requires 2 things: building mass where it counts, and building detail where it makes the most visual impact. To do that, we break the forearm into 3 visual zones: the top for width, the underside for thickness, and the surface for texture and vascularity. Master these 3 zones and your arms won't just look strong. They'll signal functional power, a grip that can crush, and a presence that commands respect before you even speak. Let's start with width, the mountain peak that gives your arm shape and slope. This is the Brachioradialis, the muscle that runs from your elbow down toward your wrist. Viewed from the front, this slope defines whether your arm looks stick-thin or solid. If it's flat, your arm looks weak, even if the bicep is big. To grow it, you need vertical pulling movements. In calisthenics, the towel pull-up is king. Throw a towel over a pull-up bar, grab both ends tight, and perform pull-ups. Even hanging halfway up forces the brachioradialis to fire at full capacity because the towel is unstable. If you lift weights, thumbless reverse curls are your secret weapon. Most people wrap their thumbs around the dumbbell, letting the biceps take over. Don't. Place the thumb under the bar, lift fast, and resist the downward pull for 3 seconds. The tension isolates the brachioradialis, and the slope starts to pop, creating the visual width that separates casual lifters from serious ones. Next is the underside, the meat that fills your sleeve, the flexors. These are the muscles that make your forearm look thick and your grip intimidating. Most people never achieve a full stretch, leaving these muscles underdeveloped. In calisthenics, the gymnast's false grip is brutal but highly effective. Instead of hanging from your fingers, curl your entire wrist over the bar and hang with arms straight. This isolates the forearm flexors, forcing them to hold your body weight. Painful? Absolutely. Effective? Undeniably. If you have gym equipment, behind-the-back wrist curls are unmatched. Why behind the back? Standing upright lets the weight roll all the way to your fingertips, producing a stretch you cannot replicate from the front. Let it roll, curl the fingers, then curl the wrist. This builds thickness, mass, and functional strength all in one. Now that we have size, we move to detail. You want that dense, veiny steel cable texture, the kind of grip that intimidates instantly. Target the fingers directly. Fingertip push-ups are the calisthenics answer. Rise onto your fingertips, use your knees if needed, and imagine clawing through the floor. Every push recruits tendons, veins, and intricate small muscles that standard exercises miss. In the gym, pinching weight plates crushes the same muscles. Place 2 plates together, smooth side out, pinch hard with your thumbs and fingertips, and hold. This builds density in the forearm that ordinary curls never touch. Twice a week, pick 1 exercise per zone and finish your workout with it. Measure your progress visually and feel your grip strengthen. Slowly, the taper becomes pronounced, veins pop, and even with small wrists, your arms look massive, dense, and functional. What once seemed like a limitation now becomes your greatest advantage. When you truly commit to this method, the transformation is more than physical, it's psychological. Small wrists, once seen as a liability, become a statement. With the right taper, your arms no longer look fragile. They carry the illusion of mass without needing massive biceps. The eye naturally follows your shoulder to bicep to forearm line, but because of the width, thickness, and detail, the line ends in a punch of power instead of a limp taper. Each zone contributes: the mountain peak for shape, the underside for mass, and the detail for finishing touch. These elements work together to create the perception of strength, functional power, and lethal grip. Let's talk about frequency and progression. Twice a week, finish your workout with 1 exercise per zone. That's all you need. This isn't about wasting hours with wrist rolls or tiny curls. It's about intelligent selection, consistent execution, and progressive overload. Track your grip strength. Notice the veins emerging alo. NG, the brachioradialis. Watch the sleeve of your shirt fill out in the forearm region. These visual cues are more than aesthetics. They confirm that your hands and forearms are actually stronger, capable of real-world power, not just looking good in a mirror. It's also about understanding leverage and proportion. A small wrist makes your arm look naturally bigger when you build the taper. Someone with thick wrists might need a 20-inch bicep to achieve the same visual impact. You, with a smaller frame, can manipulate the visual narrative. Add detail to the fingers and the flexors, and suddenly the arm appears thicker, longer, and more dangerous. This is the secret weapon many overlook. Think of forearms like the frame of a weapon. Size grabs attention, but detail signals functionality. Without detail, your arms might look big but soft. With detail, veins, and taper, even moderate size looks lethal. Now let's expand on the grip. Grip strength is often underestimated. Many lifters focus on biceps and chest while neglecting the forearm, thinking size equals strength. But the truth is, a dense forearm with strong flexors, brachioradialis, and fingers translates into an iron grip. Real power is felt in the hands first. Exercises like towel pull-ups, fingertip push-ups, and plate pinches directly develop that crushing grip. Over time, your hands will tell the story that your arms alone hint at. Someone who is functionally strong, not just visually imposing. Finally, let's frame it in lifestyle. Small wrists aren't a weakness, they're a blueprint. They give you a visual multiplier that few lifters understand. By focusing on the 3 zones, width, thickness, and detail, you leverage that blueprint to craft arms that look huge without unnatural size. Your biceps may grow slowly, but your arms will appear massive and dense. Even a casual glance will see someone with functional strength. And then lethal potential. And here's the kicker. This method is sustainable. You don't need insane volume, dozens of exercises, or hours in the gym. Select 1 exercise per zone, perform it with intensity, stretch fully, and respect recovery. The results compound. Weeks turn into months, and suddenly you're someone who commands attention, all thanks to small wrists that most people envy. The takeaway is simple. Small wrists are not a curse, they are an advantage, a frame to manipulate. Train intelligently, focus on taper, width, thickness, and detail. Build grip, build veins, build the illusion of mass that small wrists make possible. Twice a week, 3 exercises, relentless focus, and patience. Before long, your arms transform. The taper appears, the veins pop, your grip becomes vice-like. The result is not just visual, it's functional, powerful, dangerous. And all of this starts with embracing what you thought was a limitation. Small wrists aren't just a visual advantage. They're a secret weapon in how your entire upper body is perceived. When someone sees your arm, they don't just notice the bicep, they see the full line, the taper, the subtle shifts in thickness, the veins running like steel cables. It's almost instinctual. Humans are wired to pick up on visual signals of strength and functionality, even subconsciously. That's why the Popeye effect works so well. It exploits perception. You don't need to be a giant to look massive, you need to train smart. And when you do, your small wrists become the perfect contrast point, making everything above look larger, denser, and more imposing. Think about the forearm as a system of levers. Every pull, every curl, every pinch affects how your arm ultimately looks and performs. The brachioradialis is the hammerhead, the part that gives shape and dominance. The flexors are the thick handle. Without them, the arm looks thin and weak. And the intricate muscles of the hand are the details, the rivets, the textures that make the structure believable. Skip any one zone, and the illusion is broken. Build all 3 zones, and even a moderate-sized arm looks like it belongs to someone capable of raw, functional power. Progression matters. Start with exercises you can control. Partial towel pull-ups, light thumbless reverse curls, plate pinches, and gradually increase intensity. Add time under tension. Squeeze, hold, and resist. Your brain and muscles need to learn how to handle the leverage created by your small wrists. Over weeks, you'll notice subtle changes. The sleeve of your shirt will no longer hang loosely over your forearms. Veins will start to appear without effort. and your grip will feel unnatural to underestimate. People may comment on how strong your handshake feels without realizing why. This isn't vanity, it's functional dominance. Finally, embrace the mindset. Small wrists are not a flaw. They are an advantage that, when understood, allows you to outclass much larger lifters in perception. Every lift, every rep, every squeeze of the bar or push on your fingertips adds to a visual narrative of power. You're no longer limited by bone structure. You're maximizing leverage, contrast, and detail to create a visual multiplier. Over time, this transforms not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. Your arms will no longer be an afterthought, they'll be a statement. And remember, the transformation doesn't require endless volume or gimmicky exercises. Focus on the 3 zones, push them hard twice a week, respect recovery, and watch small wrists turn into the ultimate frame for arm dominance.